It is tax time, and I'm going to share with you how much I made on Poshmark and how I got to that point. My name is Karen.
I'm Jay.
With the Thrifty Flamingo. We talk a lot about Poshmark and reselling in general. So if you're interested in this content, we would really appreciate if you subscribe to our channel. If you're coming back, we say welcome.
And I know a lot of you have been watching our videos lately, so you know what's going on. We put together a course on how to take Poshmark to the next level and earn a full-time living working part-time on Poshmark. So if you're interested in that, be sure to get on our mailing list. That's the first link in the description. Just enter your email. We're doing something special this week. Not only have we been giving away courses since we dropped this course and since we started to create this content, but not only are we giving away a course this week, but we're going to be picking an additional winner. And what we're going to do is we're going to go out and source and send you guys a mystery box with 5 or 6 items that you can sell for instant profit on Poshmark. So it's going to jumpstart your Poshmark business. So one lucky winner is going to get a mystery box
Free
from
product.
us.
Yay! That you guys can list and sell, and it's all yours. So that is included in this week's drawing. Okay, so it is tax time, and I look back on all the years and how I got to this point, and I said, you know what, I really need to share this with everybody. So a lot of my story you guys know. If this is your first video, you don't know. So we're gonna kind of break down how we got to this point. I started Poshmark in 2013, which was very new at the time. Poshmark, I believe, came out not even a year before I joined. It didn't have so many users on it. And I joined Poshmark to sell my own clothes because I had lost some weight and I sold some clothes and I made some money, and I just kind of took that money and bought new clothes that fit me. And between 2013 and 2016, it was very casual for me. That's the only time I really used Poshmark. I wasn't a reseller. I didn't really know that it was a thing. And I would just kind of, this doesn't fit me anymore.
Right,
Oh,
she'd
hey,
sell an item
that-
at a time and work down the line. So she'd go through her closet and sell certain things.
He'd say, where'd you get that shirt from? And I would say,
Poshmark.
yeah, he's like, what? Because he thought I was like spending all like my hard-earned money from my day job on all these clothes I was sporting.
And we weren't making the most money at that point. We were making a little bit below modest income. So
yeah, we should put that out there. My job that I quit to do this, the last full year for income tax, I made a little bit over $22,000 take home. That's not so much, you know. So a little over 22,000 was the last full working.
And
year
I was
for
probably
me.
making around the same amount of money when I was working. So we were making around 20 to 30,000. So all in all, we had about a $40,000 to $50,000 income.
And we live in Connecticut. We live in a very high tax state, and it's not a lot in the state. Cost of living that's
right.
Not a lot in the state. So yeah, between around 2016, I started realizing I went through another drastic weight loss. And I started realizing, that's when I actually looked at my numbers. Poshmark always tells you their numbers. They always tell you like how many listings you sold, what your grand total is, how many followers, all of that stuff. They tell you everything you need to know. And I started paying attention to it. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I made like $1,500. And I spent $1,500 on like clothing, all within those few years. And
This is when the obsession really began. I call
like,
it an obsession.
They put a number to it, and I was like, $1,500. Where'd all that $1,500 go? And I'm like, my clothes. That's where it all went to. I had a little under 10,000 followers at the time. They came naturally just throughout the years. I wasn't networking or trying to build following. It was just casual. So 2016, I started learning more. I started saying, wow, I made $1,500. How can I keep doing that? Because I'm running out of clothes to sell here. My closet was starting to dwindle, and I had to stop buying as much clothes. So I wanted to start making this money, and I started learning. I started following people on YouTube, on Instagram. I started researching it, and then I started growing my followers. I applied to be a suggested user. which is the old Posh Ambassador. They renamed it. It's a Posh Ambassador now. You used to have to apply for the status. They didn't just give it to anybody. And then once I became a Posh Ambassador or a suggested user, my followers started skyrocketing. I started getting on the wheel. I went from 10,000 followers to 20 to 30, and it started multiplying. And then around the end of 2016, in November, it was right before Christmas. Everyone does that like Christmas push. They need a little extra money. And you're like, okay, I got presents to buy. And I was like, I need to push Poshmark because I need to have presents for people. And at that point, I looked at my stats and I was at $4,800. So I went from about $1,500 to $4,800 in a couple of years, but I wasn't really pushing it that long. And that's when this light bulb went off in my head. I said, I went from $1,500 to almost $5,000, and I wasn't really trying. I wasn't sourcing. I was listing my own stuff. His mom, Debbie, she loves to give me clothes all the time. And I wasn't really like reinvesting in myself. And I said, let me do that. Let me try to like grow this business.
And that's the key to growing any business, is reinvesting profit into that business. And that's how you grow a business. You got to reinvest. You got to take almost all the money you're making in a business and put it back into the business for the first couple of years.
I didn't know this.
To grow that business. It's a proven method of success to do that. So.
And at this point, I started putting a lot more time into the app. I wasn't just casually opening it up, doing some sharing during a party here and there.
She would be on the app from morning to night, like constantly.
Every night, anything I had that I wasn't wearing, I would list. I was hunting down clothes to list. I was really curating a closet, and I was sourcing. I started taking some of my earned income that I was getting from Poshmark, and I started sourcing. Yes, I was very new to it. I was stinky at it. I have had some bad buys. I still have some bad buys now and again. It's going to happen to you too. We're not always going to go out there and strike a home run and get all this amazing stuff. Once in a while, you're just going to be like, this is awesome, and comps look good, everything looks good, and for some reason, you can't flip it. Or it flips for a lot less than you thought. It's going to happen, you know. But I started sourcing. I also got my wholesale certificate, not just in Poshmark, but I went to the state of Connecticut and I registered my business, and I said, okay, I need to have a resale license in order to get wholesale online. So I started investing. So November 2016, all this started happening. Christmas was done. People had presents. I was happy. And then that entire winter into spring, I think you said it best when you said you're obsessed. One day he got a little snippy with me. He was like, put the phone down for once. He's like, you're obsessed. And I said, I'm not obsessed. I'm determined. There is a line. I'm not obsessed. I was determined. And so at the end of April, so it's almost been a year, at the end of April of 2017, I gave my 2 weeks to my boss. Because think about it, like $22,000 in a year, working full time.
It's not much.
No. So I gave my 2 weeks. Now, my boss, my job, he is an entrepreneur himself. He is a mentor. He always has been. And I didn't want to leave him high and dry. So where most people say they're 2 weeks and they're like, I'm out of here, I gave him a month because of the actual position I held. It's not an easy thing to, you know, just fill right away. So I gave him a month, and that was like the longest month. I was excited. I was pumped. I was reinvesting, and my sales kept growing, and I knew I could do this. So at the end of May, almost a year ago, I was done working, and I became a full-time reseller. So my grand total for Poshmark right now, $37,598. This is just my Poshmark. This is not his. This is not our eBay. This is not our OfferUp. This is not any other place we have ever sold anything. This is just Poshmark.
And we've been doing it, and she's been doing it really, when you look at it, part-time. She's a full-time reseller, but we have many avenues of reselling that we go and we sell with. Poshmark has been a part-time business for us. We've been, take pictures in batches and then she'll list in batches.
I do the same thing now
exactly.
that I did when I had a job. When I had a job, the only thing that changed kind of is I have more hours to vary when I go sourcing. But how I actually manage the product and my time when I'm here is pretty much the same. I'm not like stuck in my studio for 10 hours a day.
No, we have time to do stuff. We have time to do other things.
Amazing freedom,
We have a lot of freedom now.
We have a little nephew. He's a little over a year old, and they grow so fast. But yeah, we could just say, hey, let's go. It's a lovely day out. Let's go hang with the baby. We could just take a weekend off and go into Manhattan and drive into the city. And when we had these like 9-to-5 jobs, you had to put requests for time off, had to get approved by your supervisor or your manager. It was kind of like you had to plan your life. We can do anything on a whim and our business doesn't hurt. So I love the freedom about it, but the time spent doing Poshmark is pretty much the same than it was. Packaging has gotten a little longer because my sales have gone
our volume's going up. So
our volume has gone up.
Especially after the weekends. We have our best sales on the weekends. So after the weekend, we pack a lot. And so there are days where we're working almost full days, and there are days when we're working 3 or 4 hours. And
I think I've been on Poshmark today for maybe an hour and a half total, all day today, and I've made sales. So, I still do work part-time on Poshmark.
Now, making that $37,000, we got to the point where we're probably spending about $600 a week on sourcing to get that number. We want to grow our number and grow even bigger. So we're looking to start spending anywhere between $8,000 and $1,000 a week sourcing to grow that number. So really, the majority of the money you put in is going to make you the most money back. So when you get good at it.
Again, I'm not saying if you're brand new to the game, go throw all your eggs in one basket and pray for the best.
When you get good at sourcing, we say for every $100 we spend, we're going to make about $600 to $800 off that $100. So the more money you spend, the more money you're going to make, and that bigger you're going to be able to scale your business.
This was the longest lesson for me to learn. No matter how much research I did, no matter how much I talked to my old boss, my mentor, and I always wanted somebody to tell me a percentage. I wanted somebody to tell me a price. I wanted my old boss to look at me and say, Karen, if you want to grow to this, go and reinvest 75% of your profit, or any number. You know what? Not one person is going to give you that number.
Because it's different for everyone.
It really is. So
we're not guaranteeing that if you go out and spend $100, you're going to get $600 to $800 back. You gotta learn how to source.
What we source with our time, what we're comfortable buying, we know that's what our numbers tell us. Now, you do have to reinvest. That was also really hard for me at one point. I started making a lot of sales and seeing, you get kind of money blind. You see those numbers start going up and you're like, and you see all this pending and able to withdraw, and you're like, ooh, I could just go get that Kate Spade bag I really wanted, or ooh, that dress has been looking really nice. And you get really tempted, especially since it's not money that you really counted on, because it was never really part of the equation at first. That's how it was really hard at first to kind of say, no, I only buy on Poshmark when I can actually justify doing it now. It wasn't not like back in the day. And I reinvest in myself, and it does take practice. It does take confidence and knowing when to say when, and knowing how much is too much. To not just go and spending everything, because you do need some money for yourself as well. Now, at this point, I don't cut myself a specific salary. What happens is we have X amount of money we need for our bills, X amount of money that we know we need to reinvest, and whatever is left over, we put into savings. So technically our savings is our salary, is our paycheck.
Yep.
That's the way I see it right now. We have one employee, we have one part-time employee, cash money out the door, and right now it works. We are a sole proprietorship. We are possibly looking into upping that now that we've done our taxes. We might possibly go into an S Corp or
maybe an LLC.
LLC. Yep. Those are definitely, we talked about that with our financial person, and so it's definitely in our future because our rate of growth. And so it's really exciting. You know, everyone says, is this true? You can really make that much, you know? And I know a lot of other big people, big resellers, they have crazy numbers. You know, but you have to understand, like, I didn't really start going head on strong for like a year, and you know, this is just Poshmark's total. We do have other money coming in as well, so it's really exciting. This can happen. We make tons of content on, you know, how to do this. We're putting out a course on how to do this and the ins and outs of how I was able to do it. I'm no computer whiz. I don't know much about social media. Like, before Poshmark, social media was like, oh, here's an Instagram photo for my like 10 followers. You know, here's Facebook that grandma's gonna be the one that likes it. I didn't, you know, I knew it existed. I just didn't understand the power of the internet. But, you know, if I could do it, you could do it. And I mean that wholeheartedly. And that's why we're putting out this course. If I can teach him how to Poshmark, if I could teach him how to actually get comfortable with social networking, then yeah, like, anybody watching this can do it. It's not going to happen overnight.
No, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's nothing like that. It's hard work and dedication, and if you put the time in, even part-time, you can grow this business to the point where you can make a sustainable income. So it's definitely going to take some hard work and dedication, but it can be done.
Yeah, so November 2016, about $4,800 to right now, $37,598.
Almost $40,000. That's a big growth, and we're looking
not only a big growth, more than I was, almost twice as much as I was making at my job.
We're looking to double that this year, so we're gonna from now until next year, we're putting it out there. We're gonna double that income, and we're gonna have an $80,000 a year. So that's really what's gonna happen this year.
It's so exciting, and I hope this has inspired you. I hope that us putting flat out my Poshmark numbers out there has showed you that, yeah, you can do it too. Maybe you are at $1,500. Maybe you're getting close to that $4,800 when that light bulb went off in my head. I said, that's almost $5,000. Like, you know, maybe you're in those smaller tracks and you say, hey, I want to turn my $5,000 grand total into almost $40,000. Well, it is possible. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be sitting here in this house, you know, able to tell you this stuff. So if you haven't already, definitely get on that email list in the description below. It's really exciting, us putting this course together. We have been so excited to do it for you, to
That's why we're
share
giving all this
for
away.
you.
We believe in this course. We've been working hard on this course. That's why we're giving away a course. That's why we're giving away a mystery box. That's why we're doing all this. It's for you guys, so we can give back to you guys, and we really appreciate all the support we've had so far, all the names on the email list, everything that you guys have done is great.
And the positive comments you guys have left below. If you guys have any feedback, any questions, ask me. You guys know I respond to my comments. I sit down once a night and I respond to all my YouTube comments, so leave me a question below. I always get back to you. If this has inspired you, helped you, made you see that this is possible, definitely give this video a thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to click that first link in the description and jump on that email list.
I get to send out a mystery box.
And we'll be picking 2 winners this week. 1 winner for the course and 1 winner for the mystery box. So we're really excited about that. So keep an eye out on your emails, and we'll see you out there.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Bye.